Getting the Decimation Bow I found to be very stressful for an Iron player. And some tips and tricks I do have for you is one, you will need a ton of VIP Slayer tickets so that you can choose the task you get. The second tip is to do this before 90 Slayer. That is so you do not get Calgarians at 90, Ice strykewyrms at 93 Slayer, and Lava strykewyrms at 94 Slayer. Everything else you can pretty much kind of skip, and the ones you want to skip will be Black Demons, Revenants, and Water Fiends. I know Revenants sometimes you could get like a 20 Slayer assignment, but you have to make sure it's not peak time, and then you're willing to risk your emblem that you're using to upgrade. So for me, I never did it. I skipped those tasks. Now the task you want to do is the Abyssal Demons, Hellhounds, Fire Giants, although it's questionable about that one, Gargoyles, Green Dragons, maybe Blue Dragons, and lastly, Greater Demons. First off, I'll show you how I did the Green Dragons. So you'll want your sign-up orders, some food, a chaotic staff. You could also use Vanguard staff, along with 2 pieces of level 70 gear, or you can use the skeletal mage armor. That's in Fremnek province. It helps to have a glory just for its little stats, and it's like so cheap that if you do get PK'd, they won't pick it up. Although, I mean, of course you'll always get people that pick up everything. I even got PK'd and they picked up my Desert Souls, which is like 140 coins to them, so that's a bit sad. Oh, I did forget my Terror Bird for this little monster, although it's the only one that you kind of want to use it on. So, now that we're here, I'll show you on the minimap where I am. Black Knight's Fortress, you want to go north, and then a little to the west. I did see one person in about 35 hours of doing the Wilderness Slayer, but that's because he was doing the Fired Up Beacon, which, I mean, I guess that's good and bad, but I never expected anyone to even do that. Now for here, you pretty much just want to attack and kill them as normal. Keep in mind, if you ever do see a PK'er, you need to stop attacking the boss quickly, I mean the dragons, so that your breath and D-chain do not aggro and school you on. What the sign-up porter does is, when you wear it, and you click, the green D-hide will automatically go to your bank. And then if you have like a Terror Bird, that's I believe 12 additional spaces for like the dragon bones. And these, it probably takes me about 10 minutes, because I mean they're very quick to do. And if you ever need to bank, what you do is pick up the loot, and now we go east. This part is the only risk to this Slayer assignment, and that is if it's warbands, as people will be hugging or hopping worlds around the castle to go to the camp south. And just trade sand, bank, and then that's it. Bank all your bones. The next spot is pretty good, and that will be Hellhounds. For here, you want to teleport to the Wilderness Volcano, and instead of the Amulet of Glory, you will want your split dragon tooth necklace. From the lodestone, you want to run west, go a little bit north, enter the crater, pray Trye melee. And it's very important that you stand. Well, actually, okay, boop, there we go. You stand around here. This will aggro all three of them, and you'll be on this little hill type thingy that when a PK'er actually comes, he'll need to path completely around, so he'll have to be like north of you, which is pretty good. I have never found a PK'er coming from the east side. It's always the west side. So I mean, that's not too much of an issue. And these are very good for gold charms that you can make for Terrorbirds. Occasionally these can drop the rune salvage tiny spiky, which is I believe a 9k high elk. And they do have access to dropping you preserved meat, which is pretty good. You can't dismantle it, but it is pretty much free food. And I mean, that's about it. These Hellhounds are very, very simple to do. And it helps to always have your mouse on the War's Retreat, because you can teleport out as you are under 21 in the wilderness. Next up will be the Greater Demons. For here, I prefer to use range, as magic for whatever reason splashed a lot. So just go east, and you'll want to have the glory necklace on it now. And I can't show on the map, but it's just the southeastern corner. For here, you want to stand like right where I'm at, where this little hill starts, or the second tile of it. Now there is one issue, and that is sometimes an ancient penguin spawn will spawn there south of you, and it will give the same animation as if a player was logging in. How's that little cloud animation thing? But when you do see it, don't panic, and then you can just run to get it and then teleport out. Occasionally, right now in my chat box, someone will pick up the Hellbow and then start wandering around the wilderness. Usually they do Revenants and the Chaos Elemental. Very rarely you'll see anyone going here to this spot, but some Iron players will be doing the Cursed Energy, which is pretty good, and I think that's about it really. I mean, there's not much risk to this spot. And again, keep your finger on the teleport to War's Retreat. And keep in mind, this is level 20 wilderness. If I go one tile up, oh I lied. If I go 2 tiles up, you're in the level 21 spot, which means you won't be able to teleport using War's Retreat. You will need to use the Amulet of Glory. So just make sure you're under level 21 in the wilderness. The next monster we will be doing is Gargoyles. For here, you will need 75 Slayer, and then make your way to, oh man, they attacked me. You want to make your way to the ruins that is east of the wilderness crater, which I'll show on the map right now. So as you see, it is directly north of the Graveyard of Shadows. And then for this, you will need to bring your gem bag and about 10-15 high elks. And if you ever see this weird looking, I don't know, the rift portal thing, you can pretty much ignore it, although you may see imps around. That is for the wilderness. I think the wilderness boss monsters or something, the Calgarians. For here, these are very good for uncut gems. They drop a ton of salvage, and that's about it. As you can tell, they are pretty quick, and usually 3 of them will aggro on you when you're by the entrance, so it can speed up the task a lot. As for the PK'ers, I've found one was actually a PK'er because he was doing the portals and he was just geared in case like he was getting attacked or something. So I'm not sure if he was actually PKing or just doing the Master Questcape requirements to visit all the spirit realms. And I highly suggest that you do this task. One, because it's great gems, and two, you will eventually need the Granite Maul. Next up will be the Abyssal Demons, which you just want to go south. And I think this PK is like walking around the area. Okay, so we'll just go to the Abyssal Demons. You want to just go south around the Graveyard of Shadows, although it should be Graveyard of Zombies. And here we are. For here, you will want to bring, again, 10-15 high elks, and you're perfectly fine to pray melee. You can aggro, I believe, like 5 on you, depending on where you stand, and then just attack them. For here, you will need to bring, well, you don't need to, but it helps to bring the Inferno Urns, and that is for the Inferno Ashes for prayer experience. It's 25 kills per urn, and I think it gives like 9,000 per experience, so it's not too much, but I mean it kind of helps if you do get lucky on this Slayer monster. Now for the bank. Is that zombie still following me? Okay. But anyway, the bank is just directly south, and this, you will see a ton of people for this spot. That's because everyone will be going to the Bloodwood tree that is by that altar. For PK'ers, I have not seen a single person, but as I said, this is for like the backroom bolts, which I saw someone usually like every other task. And that's because, I mean, it's just good money to do it, so you'll always see people running to it. The food usage here, it won't be too much because you do get some sharks back. And then the items you do get from this is the Abyssal Wand and the Abyssal Orb. Always keep it, as it's unlimited air runes, I think. And they're tier 75 non-degradable, so it can help if you are learning how to tank a type of boss. And the last spot that I did the wilderness task will be at Fire Giants. This is pretty much if you have a VIP ticket like Fire Giants and like Revenants, and you don't have any Slayer points or you don't wish to use them. These are probably in the worst spot possible. I have never found a PK'er there. The next spot will be Blue Dragons, which it kind of depends if you really need bones or not. But they'll be north of the Forgotten Cemetery, so like right there where my marker is. But let's head off to the Fire Giants now real quick. And we're back at the final spot. This will be for the Fire Giants. This is going to be in the deep wilderness, and I advise to use like a crystal bow. And of course with that, bring like your best plate body or tier 70, because you might not be paying attention in school yourself, and then it helps to have extra spined pieces. But for here, you want to be east of the Agility Training Arena, although it should be Agility Course, I'm not sure why it says our area. And then just climb down the stairs. I have never ever found a PK'er doing this, and I think it's like the most deadest area possible, and that's because like no one goes here. There is Hill Giants, so if you want champion scrolls, you could be here. Although the Barrock Sewers, I believe is what it's called, or the Edgeville Dungeon, it's best for those. And then you'll run past these Shadow Spires. Never misclick them. it will automatically drain your prayer by half. And then if you put a bleed on it, each consecutive hit will lower your prayer by half. Once you're here, open the door and then close it. I like to stand right here at the cornerstone of the area, and the fire giants will automatically attack you. They are using melee, so only 2 of them should realistically attack you at a time. And then just attack the north one when you're able to. The drops from these are pretty trashy. And I mean, that's about it. These are pretty simple, although I suggest you never do this. But just in case it's like warbands or a very peak time, this could be a good task to do, as you'll never find a PK'er, and then you can just safely run to the major arena area, pull the lever, and just teleport out to War's Retreat or back to Edgeville, wherever you see. With that, thank you all so much for watching this long guide on which task you should be doing for the Wilderness Decimation Bow if you're a Iron Man. If you're a hardcore Iron player, good luck to you and never get PK'd. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.